Hello. Today I'm going to show you what to do if you receive a check. There's basically three things you can do. You can deposit that if you have a checking account. You can cash it at a store or at the bank, or you can actually give it to someone by changing ownerships of it. I'm going to show you a check made out to Jane Doe for $236.16. On the back of this check is where you're going to do something called endorse it. This is an example of the back of the check. The upper part is where you're going to do something with it as an endorsement. You never want to write in the bottom of the check. That is reserved for the financial institutions use. The simplest type of endorsement is called the blank endorsement. The blank endorsement is where the person's name that's on the check can write that name. For example, Jane Doe was the owner of the check. So Jane would write her name on this upper line. Now, there is one problem with writing it. You don't want to do it early because everyone who has possession of that check can cash it. So I would advise you to only use the blank endorsement when you're at the place that you want to cash it or to deposit it. Now, another type is called the restrictive endorsement. Comes from the word restricting it, which means there's only one thing that can be done with it. So this one is called the restrictive, in which you write deposit to the account of, and then of course that check was written to Jane Doe. So now what is the only thing that you can do with this check? Well, of course, deposit it. So you can't cash it at a store. You have to be at the bank. Now, the good thing about this, you could send this check with anyone to deposit it for you because they couldn't cash it. The only thing they can do is put it as a deposit into the account of Jane Doe. So that's a good one if you want to mail your checks in with a deposit slip. Now, the next one is called the special endorsement. In this case, Jane Doe wishes to give her check to Bob Smith. So she would write on this, the back of the check, pay to the order of Bob Smith, the person she's giving the check to, and then Jane would sign her name here. Now, with that, Bob Smith can cash it, he can deposit it, he can do basically anything he wants to do with it because Jane has transferred ownership over to Bob Smith. So, those are the three types of endorsements. Each one has a good thing about it, some have a bad thing about it. Just remember that there are three different ones. See you next time. Bye-bye.